All right, coming up next, we'll talk more about electrification and how our next guest plans to be part of that supply chain. Graham Harris, Chairman and Director of Surge Battery Metals, is on deck. We'll talk to him right after this.
But Marty, Redwood Materials is not the only company making inroads in Nevada. Indeed, Surge Battery Metals has received the green light to move forward with its North Lithium Project in Elko County. It plans to test the area for lithium-rich clay. Drilling is set to kick off next month. Surge Battery Metals recently announced that its lithium carbonate has exceeded 99% purity, making it a potential key player in US lithium production, which is, of course, as Marty said, a critical metal in the EV battery industry. Well, let's bring in Graham Harris, Chairman at Surge Battery Metals. Thank you so much for joining us today, Graham. Naturally, energy security and critical minerals supply security, very political, right? You have said that whoever is elected in the US come November, the US is committed to energy independence. But my question to you is, surely there would be a difference between green energy and renewable energy and legacy energy, such as fossil fuels, depending on whether or not it's a Republican or a Democrat White House.
That's a great point. I mean, our stand on this is that people do want green energy in the States, and these policies that are coming from the government are all about jobs and job creation. So whether it's Democrat or Republican, these policies are driving manufacturing jobs into a lot of the red states. These battery companies and EV companies are all popping up right through the heartland of America, and we feel that whoever gets in the fall will want to continue that policy.
So do you feel that IRA green investments will be safe, and to what degree do you depend on those? Because there is some fear that if we do see a Republican White House again in November, that things like federal offices that have been supporting green investments could be shuttered.
Yes, that is a fear. We don't share that fear. Like I said, I mean, the job creation is coming into the areas that need it, the American heartland. And whether it's Republican or Democrat, they won't want those jobs to disappear. And our feeling is rather than get a shutdown of the Inflation Reduction Act, which isn't easy, as you know, because it's an act of Congress and you need all three layers of government to cancel that policy. And we don't see that happening. What I do think will happen is what you're seeing now, which is the Republicans are signaling a tough on China policy, tariffs in China, and I think they will shift the conversation so that when these jobs are continuing in these red states, they will start to take credit for these jobs. And it will be not the Inflation Reduction Act that brought these great paying jobs to America, but it'll be if the Republicans get in, it'll be their tough on China policy that's resulting in these great jobs being created for Americans.
So, Graham, it hasn't escaped us that you're on the road and you're joining us this morning from across in Seoul and South Korea. Obviously, they've got some major EV players as well. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if you're meeting with some of them. How are the conversations looking like there?
Well, that's interesting because everybody is quite concerned about the Inflation Reduction Act, and especially the Chinese players and how they're going to qualify their product for made in America. So it's quite interesting on this trip, the concern level that's being raised in Asia about the Inflation Reduction Act. But on the flip side of that, we are a domestic energy company, so it favors us greatly.
Oh, sorry, Marty. So with regards to the price of lithium carbonate, I was just taking a look at the chart here, Graham, and since the heights in November 2022, and I think we were sitting at around close to 570,000, we're now at what, about 111,000, something like that. In other words, prices have come down considerably over the last couple of years. How does that affect your development?
Well, I mean, on the good side, I mean, I've been quoted as saying, the best cure for low prices is low prices. And if you took that chart back even further, you would have seen that before the prices were low until they went up, and now they're back down. So what we're getting is a much too a much too volatile swing in these lithium prices. And what we'll see now from the low prices is that, some of the marginal producers that came on stream when the prices were high are starting to disappear. So we're starting to get a decrease in the supply chain. And also, these kind of prices, what they do is they push out investment in the sector. Projects like ours or Thacker Pass, were easily funded, when the price is much higher. But at this level, it sort of pushes out investment in the industry. And that will, again, tend to, take some supply off and move that supply out further. And I think, again, like low prices over time cure low prices. And we are seeing finally, rather than a continued drop in prices, we're seeing a stability. We found sort of a bottom level, which is nice to see for the last 6 months.
All right, Graham, excellent talking to you. Appreciate the time. Safe travels, and hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for your time this morning. Graham Harris there from Surge Battery Metals joining us live.